Welcome to Kaumudy Global. When we dig into the timeline backward, there is a lot to talk about the brutality, injustice, and looting the British have done to us. With that in mind, the BBC's illustration can only be considered as preaching done by the devil. New controversies are fuming in the name of the BBC's documentary on Modi. The documentary has allegations that Modi, who was the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, had direct involvement with the riots. These allegations made multiple times by opposition party leaders and media in the past 2 decades. There are no new revelations done by the BBC that the Indian media haven't done. But now, the publicity job of the documentary has been taken over by the opposition parties. They cannot be blamed for that since it was the ruling BJP party that led the way to it. It was the central government's ban on social media spread of the BBC documentary India, the Modi Question that made the opposing parties take initiative in the screening of the same. The youth wings of Congress and Communist parties are organizing massive screenings everywhere. BJP coming in with protests has caused violence in multiple locations. A ban can be welcomed only under the circumstances that the allegations in a book or documentary grow to an extent that it leads to a communal clash between religions. Central government banned the documentary before any such thing happened. The ban helped in achieving what the BBC was aiming for in a much faster way. That is what engaged the curiosity to know what's inside the documentary among Indians. The controversial book, The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie, was banned by then Rajiv Gandhi government much before any Arab country banned it. The book sales shot up in the black market and gave more publicity to the book as well. The British did not ban the book. Their official media BBC gave reports that supported the book. BBC usually does reports that support their colonial interests and not against them. After the Second World War, it was America that was part of the most number of wars. Britain and BBC never opposed a single war by America. There is not a single Western media that did not spread the news that Iraq is building nuclear weapons. The world came to know that it was a piece of fake news spread by America to attack Iraq. But America was able to invade Iraq with the help of this fake news, overthrow the government and hang Saddam Hussein to his death. Western media like BBC is very skilled in making people believe that the wrong of the Western nations was right in real. At the same time, they tend to portray even the mediocre problems of the Eastern nations in a blown-up manner. BBC has done many reports to show that India is a poor nation. While doing multiple reports on Dharavi slums, they never turn their cameras to the achievements that India is making. In the Kashmir issue, BBC always gave reports against India. During the Indochina War and India-Pak War, Western media, including BBC, took an anti-Indian stand. They're interested in seeing the rapid growth of India from their point of view only. They attempt to portray to the world that India is a third world nation where no justice and law systems exist, and it's a place where people are massacred has been a method that was followed by them for many years. For that, they will dig out the past wrongs and showcase them. The current documentary is a part of that. It will only be a surprise if BBC, the official spokesperson of the British responsible for the Jallianwala massacre, where hundreds of unarmed freedom fighters were murdered, did not do what it did. When we dig into the timeline backward, there is a lot to talk about the brutality, injustice, and looting the British have done to us. With that in mind, the BBC's illustration can only be considered as preaching done by the devil. Centre should have ignored this completely because not even British citizens give ears to the BBC now. India's integrity and strength will not be lost when Western media spread some news. India is a country where the minority feels the safest. BBC must turn their cameras to other countries like Pakistan, where the minority is subjected to oppression and brutality. The current situation in Pakistan is inexplicable. No food, power, or foreign exchange. Inflation crossed 25%. They're begging in front of the rich countries. BBC chooses to ignore it purposefully. It's the Western nations and their media who feel envious of the growth of India more than Pakistan. Before the last Lok Sabha elections, Time magazine described Modi as India's divider-in-chief in its cover story. They apologized after Modi's win. India is growing rapidly. No communal violence is happening under Modi's rule. Terrorist attacks were reduced as well. In 2022, India surpassed UK to become the world's 5th biggest economy. It's predicted that by 2030, India will become an economy twice as strong as Britain. The worry that the country which was once their colony may become their colonizer in the future is what caused them to give birth to such a news. This must be rejected with contempt by sensible Indians. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.